People don't usually say it out loud, but if you pay attention, you can feel it. When you walk into a room, something changes. The atmosphere shifts ever so slightly, smiles become tighter, more forced, laughter starts to fade. Conversations, which were once lively, suddenly trail off or die mid-sentence. It's not because you're rude or arrogant, or because you've done anything wrong. There's just something about you, an invisible presence, an intensity that people can't quite explain, yet they can't ignore. You might notice this happens often. You ask deeper questions than most people are used to. You really listen, not just waiting for your turn to speak. When you talk, your words carry weight and meaning. And when you look someone in the eyes, they often look away. You may have been told you're too serious, too intense, or that you overthink things too much. But what if that's not a flaw? What if, like Carl Jung believed, your presence carries something far more powerful than a simple personality trait? Jung thought of this presence as an aura, not the spiritual kind with glowing colors floating around the body, but a psychological force, a kind of silent energy. This energy challenges others without saying a word. People aren't afraid of you personally, they're afraid of what you reveal to them. When you're around, you reflect back their own insecurities, their fears, and the masks they wear every day. This is why many people instinctively pull away, avoid you, gossip about you, or shrink themselves just to feel safe. The honesty you carry can be unsettling. Not because you're harsh or judgmental, but because you are real. You're authentic in a world that often rewards pretending and surface-level interactions. Carl Jung spent his life studying this psychic energy, the one that radiates from those who have confronted their own shadow and stepped fully into their true selves. It's not easy to do, but the result is a presence that is rare and powerful. This video will explore 13 signs that your aura might be silently overwhelming to others. It's not because you're broken or too much to handle, but because you're different in a world that's addicted to comfort and easy conversations. That kind of rare energy scares people more than they realize. Most people imagine an aura as some kind of mystical glow or colorful light field around the body, but Jung's perspective was much deeper and more psychological. He believed the aura was made not of light, but of energy. Not the kind of energy you can measure with instruments, but the kind you can feel, subtle, powerful, and shaped by your thoughts, emotions, and especially your unconscious mind. This energy speaks long before you say anything. It appears in the way you walk into a room, in how people react without understanding why, in the vibe you carry even when you're completely silent. Jung called this phenomenon the unconscious transmission of the self. It comes from the parts of you that most people try to hide or deny, the parts you call your shadow, your pain, your truth. The more you face these hidden parts and integrate them, the more your energy changes. You begin to carry a different kind of presence, one that's no longer shaped by social masks or shallow approval, but by self-awareness, emotional depth, and inner alignment. People sense this shift even if they can't put it into words. They see it in the way your eyes hold emotion, in the calmness of your silence, and in the quiet intensity of your gaze. Jung believed this kind of aura can unconsciously trigger others, not because you're doing anything wrong, but because your energy exposes what they've spent their whole lives trying to hide, their insecurities, fears, and false selves. This explains why some people keep their distance from you, misjudge you, or feel intimidated, even if you're gentle and kind. Your aura, the energy of your authentic self, is speaking directly to their unconscious minds. And not everyone is ready for that kind of honest conversation. This is why some of the most meaningful interactions you have might be uncomfortable for others. They might feel defensive or uneasy because you unknowingly hold up a mirror to parts of themselves they avoid. It's not about you pushing or judging, it's simply the natural effect of your energy meeting theirs. You might be wondering, what are the signs that my energy affects others this way? Here are some common experiences. 1. People often avoid deep conversations with you, sticking to small talk instead. 2. You notice that some people become quiet or withdrawn around you. 3. Strangers or acquaintances give you cautious or uncertain looks. 4. People sometimes say you're too intense or too serious in social settings. 5. You find that others rarely challenge you directly, but might gossip behind your back. 6. When you share your feelings or opinions, some people react defensively or shut down. 7. People may tell you that you overthink or overanalyze things. 8. You sense that some avoid your presence altogether without explanation. 9. Others may try to lighten the mood or joke excessively to diffuse tension around you. 10. You notice that some people struggle to maintain eye contact with you. 11. You're often perceived as mysterious or hard to read. 12. People sometimes accuse you of being too serious or not fun enough. 13. You feel that your energy is different from most people, and sometimes it feels isolating. All these signs point to a deeper truth. Your aura is different, powerful, and often misunderstood. It's not a problem to fix, but a rare quality to understand and embrace. When you own your energy and your truth, you stop shrinking to make others comfortable. Instead, you create space for authenticity, not just for yourself, but for those around you. Remember, not everyone is ready for this kind of presence. That's okay. Your job is not to dim your light or hide your intensity. It's to live honestly, to embrace your shadow, and to be fully yourself, even when it unsettles others. In the end, your aura is your invisible signature. It speaks louder than words and invites others to either step up or step back. And while that can be lonely at times, it also means you're walking a path of real growth and self-awareness. Understanding this idea is key to everything Carl Jung taught. He believed we are not just minds or bodies, we are fields of psychic influence, living symbols, and walking mirrors. Every interaction we have sends ripples through the unconscious minds of those around us. The more honest you become with yourself, the stronger and more intense your aura becomes to others. Sign number 1. People say you are too intense even when you're simply being honest. When you speak, you come from a deeper place, not to impress, not to dominate, but to genuinely connect. Yet somehow, your words seem to cut deeper than expected. You say what others avoid. You name what people keep hidden. You bring truth into places built on illusion. This unsettles many. They tell you you're too serious, too much, or too deep. But what they're really trying to say is, you make me feel things I'm not ready to face. Jung believed that some people carry a kind of energy that awakens the unconscious in others. This energy forces others to confront uncomfortable truths about themselves, about life, and about their carefully crafted identities. When you speak, it's not just words. They carry energy, presence, and depth. For many who prefer to stay on the surface, this can feel threatening. Your intensity is not aggression or arrogance, it's emotional honesty, and very few people can hold that without flinching. Sign number 2. Small talk feels physically draining to you. You can sense it right away, the shallow, scripted energy of surface-level conversations. How's the weather? What do you do? Did you watch that show last night? You try to engage, you nod, you smile, you respond. But deep down, something inside resists. You're not being rude, you're simply wired differently. Jung believed that people deeply connected to their unconscious minds are repelled by inauthenticity. Small talk often acts as a shield, a way people avoid real connection. When you're stuck in these conversations, your aura sends a silent message. This isn't real. Let's talk about something that matters. That energy disrupts the social script and breaks the illusion. Even if you say nothing, people sense it. Some might see you as cold, standoffish, or antisocial. The truth is, your soul craves realness, and your aura makes that hunger visible. Sign number 3. You attract confessions and emotional dumping. Strangers will tell you their life stories. Friends come to you when they're breaking down. You've been called a therapist more times than you can count, even though you never asked for it. This isn't a coincidence. Jung believed some individuals carry an unconscious archetype of the healer, regardless of their profession. Your aura radiates stillness, depth, and emotional safety. People feel they can open up to you, even if they barely know you. But here's the paradox: you rarely feel truly seen in return. You listen, hold space, and absorb pain, yet few ask how you're doing. This creates a strange loneliness. Surrounded by others' emotions but starving for connection yourself. Your energy might be magnetic for those in pain, but intimidating for those who fear their own darkness. Sign number 4. People seem to avoid eye contact with you. When you walk into a room, you can feel it. People shift in their seats, glance briefly, then look away. They speak softer and act differently. Sometimes they avoid you entirely. Other times, they stare as if trying to figure you out but say nothing. Carl Jung taught that when you've integrated parts of yourself that others deny or suppress, you unconsciously mirror what they reject. Eye contact, in this context, becomes more than a social gesture. It becomes a silent challenge, a meeting of unspoken truths. Your gaze can unsettle people because it reflects back the parts of themselves they keep hidden. This is why some avoid looking directly at you. Your eyes hold an intensity that forces a confrontation with their own shadows. When people avoid eye contact with you, it's not just a casual social habit or shyness, it's a psychic encounter on an unconscious level. They're not just seeing you, they're seeing themselves reflected back through your presence. And if they're not ready for that reflection, if they haven't yet faced their own fears, insecurities, or hidden truths, they'll flinch. They might retreat quickly, avoiding you or labeling you as intimidating, even if you're being kind and gentle. Your presence demands honesty, not because you ask for it, but because your aura communicates before your words ever do. This is a key idea Carl Jung taught, that we are not simply minds or bodies, but fields of psychic influence, walking mirrors that reflect and transmit energy to those around us. The more honest and integrated you become with yourself, the stronger and more intense your aura becomes to others. This intensity often makes people uncomfortable, especially those who are still avoiding parts of themselves. Sign number 5. Your presence triggers strong reactions even when you do nothing. You might be sitting quietly in a room, not saying a word, just existing, and yet someone suddenly gets defensive, irritated, or oddly cold toward you. You're left wondering, what did I do? The answer is nothing. Your presence itself, the energy you carry, is enough to disturb the unconscious minds of those around you. Jung believed that when someone carries a powerful, integrated energy, when they've done the hard work of facing their own shadow, it creates ripples in the collective unconscious. Those ripples stir up parts of others that are hidden or denied. Your presence acts as a mirror, reflecting back insecurities, shame, envy, or fears that people don't want to confront. You don't need to say a word. Your energy speaks for itself. This is the silent power of a developed aura. You don't have to demand attention or try to dominate a room. Your very existence challenges others to confront who they really are, and most people aren't comfortable with that. It's why you might see some people withdraw or react strongly without an obvious reason. Sign number 6. You can't tolerate fake personas, and people sense that about you immediately. The masks people wear, the fake smiles, the forced laughter, the constant need to perform socially, feel like noise to you. You see through them instantly. You feel that dissonance deep in your gut, often before your mind even catches up. This isn't judgment, it's perception. Jung described a state called psychological wholeness, where a person has integrated their shadow, the rejected and hidden parts of themselves. This integration creates a kind of radar that can sense fragmentation or inauthenticity in others. So when you're around someone who is pretending to be something they're not, your aura sends a subtle but unmistakable signal. Drop the act. I see the real you. This makes many people uncomfortable. They might get nervous or defensive or simply keep their distance. It's not because you're exposing them outright, but because your energy won't let their illusions breathe. Sign number 7. You make people second-guess themselves. You ask questions others avoid. You challenge assumptions and don't accept normal simply because it's common practice. This causes people to get flustered or confused around you. They start doubting what they say and try to explain or justify themselves in ways they normally wouldn't. This is not arrogance or manipulation. It's the psychic weight of your clarity. Jung said that someone with deep self-awareness becomes a living contradiction to the collective mindset. Your clarity exposes confusion in others. Your calmness highlights their anxiety. Your self-trust reveals their self-doubt. You don't have to argue or prove anything. Just being yourself is enough to disrupt false certainty. In a world addicted to ego validation and surface-level affirmation, this quietly makes you dangerous. Sign number 8. People open up to you, then suddenly pull away. They tell you secrets, share their deepest feelings, and say you understand them like no one else. For a moment, it feels like a genuine connection. Then they disappear. They stop texting or avoid deeper conversations altogether. This push and pull pattern is confusing and sometimes painful, but it reflects the power of your energy. Your aura invites vulnerability, but it also demands honesty that not everyone is ready to face. People crave your depth, but when it comes too close to their own hidden fears, they pull back to protect themselves. You become a safe space for others, but your presence can feel threatening because it disrupts their usual defenses. That dynamic of connection and retreat is a sign that your energy is powerful and disruptive, in a way that forces growth whether others want it or not. Sign number 9. You notice subtle shifts in people's behavior around you. Sometimes it's a quiet tension, a shift in tone, or a sudden pause in conversation. Other times, it's outright avoidance or silence. These subtle changes happen because your energy carries a certain gravity. People sense that you see more than you say and that you hold space for truths others avoid. Sign number 10. People sometimes accuse you of being too much or intense. This often comes up when you express your feelings or opinions honestly. It's a way for others to push back against the emotional honesty you carry. When people say this, what they're really saying is that your energy is too real, too raw, and too different from what they're comfortable with. This label is often a defense mechanism, a way to dismiss your authenticity because it forces others to confront their own emotional limitations. You're not too much. You're simply more present and aware than most people are willing to be. Sign number 11. Strangers feel drawn to you without knowing why. It happens in grocery stores, airports, waiting rooms. Out of nowhere, a stranger starts talking to you deeply. They confess something personal and say, "I don't know why I'm telling you this." There's no small talk, just raw emotion, as if they've been waiting for someone like you. Jung called this numinous energy. It's not charisma or charm, but the soul's gravity. Sign number 12. You can feel the energy of a room instantly. You step inside, and within seconds, you know what's off. You sense tension, hidden resentment, and the masks everyone wears before a single word is spoken. To others, it might seem like a sixth sense, but really, it's your highly developed psychic attunement. Jung described this as psychological intuition, an unconscious intelligence working beneath logic and language. Sign number 13. You've always felt not of this world, and others feel it too. There's a loneliness in you that's hard to explain. It's not the loneliness of lacking company, but the loneliness of being different on a soul level. Since childhood, you've felt like an outsider, even among friends and family. It's as if you were born with ancient eyes in a world that only sees the surface. Jung believed that some people are born with a calling from the self, a deep inner voice pulling them toward growth, wholeness, and transformation. These individuals often live on the edges of society. They question what others accept and carry wisdom that feels otherworldly. Your aura reflects that. It carries depth and mystery, stirring something ancient in those who meet you. Some are inspired by it, others are terrified, but few can ignore it, because whether they realize it or not, they're in the presence of someone who doesn't quite belong to this world, but was sent to change it. You've seen it happen again and again. You enter a space, and something shifts. People become guarded, distant, awkward, or even aggressive. You wonder why. You didn't say anything offensive or try to dominate the room. You were just being yourself. But that's exactly the problem. When your aura carries authenticity, self-awareness, and depth, it challenges people. It confronts the parts of themselves they've buried. Jung believed that each of us has a shadow, the hidden side of our personality filled with traits we repress or deny. Most spend their lives avoiding it. But when someone with an integrated aura walks into the room, the shadow gets triggered. Your presence silently communicates, "I've faced myself." Have you? For those who haven't, this is terrifying. This is the ego's war against individuation, Jung's core psychological journey. Individuation is the path to becoming your truest whole self by integrating both light and shadow. But most people never take this journey. Why? Because the ego, our constructed self-image, resists it fiercely. The ego doesn't want truth. It wants control. It wants to believe, "I'm a good person. I'm normal. I'm fine the way I am." Anyone who forces it to question that is perceived as a threat. That's you. You're not threatening because you're aggressive. You're threatening because you're evolved. Your aura reflects that truth. You're someone who has questioned, deconstructed, and rebuilt yourself from the inside out. That kind of energy exposes everyone still holding on to their illusions. Instead of saying, "I want to grow like that," many say, "You're too much." Rare energy feels dangerous because we live in a world that rewards conformity and surface-level behavior. Being loud, agreeable, or trendy keeps people comfortable. But when you walk in with silence, stillness, and depth, you break the unspoken social rules. People don't know how to categorize you. You don't play the usual games or seek validation. Your presence quietly asks, "What else is there?" This creates emotional dissonance, a discomfort that arises when someone is forced to face truths they've ignored.